Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dinner and a Game, where we have so many features that they literally drive us crazy.
I've been replaced.
It is Wednesday night.
Busting.
I know, Rob is busted. I gotta fix Rob.
Dun 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 dun
Dun dun dun dun dun. Where's Rob?
So my horns fit in the screen.
Man, you got to drop yourself a lot to get those to fit in the screen.
Yeah, they're quite long.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday night, and Wednesday night means it is time for D&D. Now, we have our game tonight is basically our homebrew called Kingdoms of Mist. It is an interesting concept. Can I name the dragon? No.
Dragon doesn't.
Yeah,
Fox Rider, I get to name dragons. That's why I run this game.
the one reason.
The only reason. So anyway, Kingdoms of Mist is a game set in a world that I wanted to make because it allows me to combine some genres that I really love and some tropes that I really love. And one of them is Treasure Planet, the movie. And I didn't just want to have sky ships. I wanted to have the full interstellar travel without, all the technology. So I designed this world to allow that to happen. So there's a bunch of planets. They're all relatively close together. And that's relative on a space travel term, not a driving to your mom's house term. So they're relatively close together. And they basically have the ability to travel through the ether between the worlds. And on sky ships. And there's a bunch of stuff written about it. I was actually working on Ale last Sunday. I was working on it Sunday on our Facebook live feed. I was just doing some writing on it, and man, I got carried away. So now there's more information on Ale than there is on the actual planet. So, but all that being said, all the lore for the world is currently up on our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, you will be able to see it. It's ready to go. It is there. It is positive. It is for you all, and you can go check it out on the City of Mist, or Kingdoms of Mist. City of Mist is a different game.
Yeah,
Kingdoms of Mist channel in our Discord. And if you want to catch the shows here, be sure you subscribe. You follow us here on Twitch. You'll get notifications when we go live. Plus, if you want to support us, you can subscribe. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription every month, and you can use that subscription for us, and we would greatly appreciate it. Any funds we get go to help us supporting the stream, paying costs, and everything like that. So, in the meantime, we also have some very, very incredibly lovely people with us tonight. I am going to start in my old-fashioned way of going around the clock. First off, we have Milagros. Milagros, first off, who are you going to be playing tonight? And after that, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Hi guys, I'm Milagros. I am playing Utopia Aster, our paladin, and you can find me pretty much all over the place as Fountain Pen Femme. I am in the process of launching and relaunching all of my social media accounts. I am focused on writing education and educating people on intersectional diversity in storytelling. And I will be going live on Twitch 3 days a week soon. I'm just figuring out my schedule. And I'm so excited for it because I've had a wonderful experience with the community here, and I want to build my own.
There you go. And we are fully invested in going to be supporting Milagros in that. If you want to find any of her links, I just put up her link tree in chat. You can go there and find all Milagros' links. And we're looking forward to seeing her show because the abilities Milagros has for organization are incredible. So, want to see that happen so bad. Next, we have the man, the myth, the legend, and the man whose name I cannot spell right because I do not know how to type. Sphinx. Sphinx. Sphinx is on here. And Sphinx, would you everyone know who you're playing tonight? And would you please tell us where they can find you on the interwebs? Because you'll probably do it before I type your name correctly.
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Sphinx Akasha. I am playing Valestein Okal, a Kalishtar bard. And yeah, you can find me on as Sphinx Akasha just about everywhere on the internet, but on TikTok you can find me at Circle DM. I also run a podcast called Agents of the Circle, which is a podcast where I run a 5th edition D&D campaign for my friends, and all manner of hilarity ensues. And as of next week, we will be streaming, finally.
Dun dun dun!
Yeah, you can find us on twitch.tv /ADH Adventures. Yeah, I'm super excited for all of that.
Did you add that to your link tree? Because your link tree is in chat right now.
I will add it right now.
Please do, because I want to follow.
It's all been so crazy to get everything ready, but
Oh, I know.
yes.
Trust me, I know. I've done it like 17 times. All right, and next we have RJ and Rome. They're a package deal, ladies and gentlemen. They are the ultimate hetero life mates, and they are the driving forces behind Obliviously Adventurous. RJ, Rome, would you like to give us a little background about OA and let us know who you're playing tonight?
I'm Grompok. That's Shugash. Shugosh. It's an A, but it's pronounced as a U, so, what can we do?
Fun to fuck with you.
Of course! Of course! And if that doesn't tell you what OA is about, then you're completely missing the picture here.
Yep.
We're on Facebook, a bunch of variety stream, Obliviously Adventurous. We do D&D Sunday nights at 7:30 for West Haven. We're getting down to probably about the halfway point of the third arc. We're all level 14, almost 15. So that one should wrap by the end of the year. So we're getting towards the end and the climax and big bad evil guys and characters that are way overpowered than our characters, which are way overpowered. And it's a very, very fun mix to take the GM's plan and throw it out the fucking window.
Dun dun dun!
Courtesy of Shugash, 95% of the time.
And he kills me for it.
Yes.
95% of the time.
So we're over on Facebook. If you guys want to drop a follow over there, come say hi. Frank typically runs a bunch of games during the week. Usually not what everybody else is playing. He's been playing Oxygen Not Included, Shadows of Mordor, or Shadows of War. We're getting ready to throw Ghost Recon Wildlands into the mix. And yeah, we have a lot of fun being weird, goofy people. That's about
true.
the extent of OA.
Yep.
Dun dun dun. And finally, we have Rob. Rob, I don't think I even have updated your TikTok yet. Or your links yet. Nope.
That's okay.
I do have the name on there. So Rob, who are you playing tonight and where can they find you on the World Wide Webs?
Well, you can always find me here, because I love dinner in a game. But generally on the World Wide Web, I am now at Blessed.com, or Blessed_com, whichever happens to work for whatever site. And I'm playing Aeom, who is a Hand of Mercy monk, and currently just devoted to the Mist Mother and like amalgamating all of the cultures into a singular book. But yeah,
book.
Anywhere you can find me, Blessed.com. Usually now apparently on TikTok. At some point I'll upload, I swear. Forgive me. But yeah.
And I still need to add you to our friends on Dinner and a Game on TikTok. And I am Ray. I run this chaos as best I can. And trying to keep up with these people is not funny or easy. It is work. And no one told me this was going to be work.
It's quite amusing.
It's amusing for you guys.
You knew the moment you pulled me and Rome into a campaign that the campaign was going to be work.
And I beg to differ. You said you didn't know it was going to be work because we said we were going to try to break you, and you said we couldn't. But you out there to make this campaign, sir.
Well, you still haven't broken me, so there's that. Not like poor Panda who ends up crying at the end of every
Eight
night.
weeks in here, buddy.
I mean,
like,
Rebel,
Yeah.
give it time.
All right.
we're trying
So
to find the right lube at this point. Like, let's be real here.
We're just looking the hole to see which one fits better.
I thought you could go in dry.
all right. So now that this has been, demonetized on every fucking platform known to man,
With that.
except for possibly OnlyFans and
Subscribe to the Dinner and Game OnlyFans
And that specific
my
yet,
goodness.
buddy.
Are we doing a Players of Dinner in a Game calendar now? Is that what's about to happen?
I have the equipment. I have the equipment.
as I have said,
Red lighting. Let's get it.
my nipples are on the
get it.
internet. That's all I gotta
Let's
say.
get it.
I'm prepared to show some legs,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
It's going to be an
Live,
interesting
save
night.
lives.
Aeon was supposed to be shirtless. I really went over a lot.
I would totally pay $15 for a calendar of you all in cosplay.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, we are continuing our campaign, which is D&D 5e and set in the Kingdoms of Mist. We are on Alatras, which is the primary world in a 6-world system. Alatras is the most organized planet. It has a single unified government that has 6 separate cultures within it. The capital city is a huge city called Aeol, and it is shaped like a giant hand with cliff faces that go out from a steep rise, and then there's the palm, which is where all the residentials are down below it. And the higher up you are on the cliff face, the more notoriety and prestige your family has. So they have been visiting with well, they were visiting the city in order for Utopia to report into her family, because apparently Utopia has been a runaway.
Dun, 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 dun.
In my defense, he told me. Well, he didn't tell me to run away, but like God called. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
Hang up.
you're not gonna hang up on God.
I mean, I tried.
Yeah, you tried, and you're
It
still with
didn't work.
us. So
That's true. It's true. It didn't work. She just kept calling, man. Had me on speed
Kept
dial. It was
calling.
terrible.
Yeah.
Like one of those people that wants to clean your ducts.
They're trying to get at me about my my car's extended warranty.
Which is a car.
What's his car?
what's his car? She wanted to call you about your Loot's extended warranty.
There you go.
You've been noodling that thing pretty hard.
Gotta make sure you're insured, my dude. Gotta make sure.
So, but the party has split up temporarily, as half the party, well, 2 people went to Utopia's place, Aeom and Utopia, while Val,
how's the
Grandpak,
rest?
and Sugash were pursuing a little bit in the market district, killing some time, where they discovered that there was a job they could do to earn a very special suit of armor that Val had had his eye on. They went to do the job, and the job turned out to be stealing some loot from some obviously shady characters.
You can't even call that loot.
Yeah.
It's not
It's not
Loot.
loot.
That's how it was.
friend.
That was how it was described to you, and they basically went to go do the job, and they discovered that the loot was a dragon, a young blue dragon, actually a juvenile blue dragon.
Yep.
Hang on one second.
Oh,
There we go.
yay!
Yay!
Oh.
There we go. Okay.
All right. So, so they found. They also discovered that the young blue dragon was in a cage that was designed to resist his lightning, and that he had his wings bound so tightly to make sure he could not fly that the straps binding his wings had actually started cutting into the membrane of the wings and done some serious damage to where he could not fly out of there. So Sugash and Grampak, actually Val went to cause a
Distraction.
An amazing distraction.
And he went into the bar across the street, which was very active, and he basically started up I don't know, an impromptu dance
mosh
party.
pit.
Let the bodies hit the floor with
Yeah.
the
Because Sphinx literally started playing "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor,"
Literally.
and
Thank you,
then
Ramona.
and had such an amazing role that he had the entire bar swept up in the enthusiasm, and they just all started freaking into this huge dance, which in turn was literally shaking the entire building, which brought everyone from outside to turn around and look inside to find out what was going on, which gave Grampak and Sugash time to slip into the warehouse where the quarry was, which is... Huh?
I was going to say, he's a bard. He serves as the distraction. That is his job as a bard.
And he did his job. So then Grampak and Sugash got into the warehouse. They searched the warehouse and finally discovered the dragon in a back isolated room. And then they kind of negotiated with the dragon, but pretty much just told him that they were liberating him. They let
Rome healed him.
Yeah, Rome healed him. They unbound the dragon, unbound his wings, and the dragon didn't really trust them, but didn't really have much of a choice otherwise. And it ended up taking off and blasting a hole through the back of the warehouse and running off the dock and diving into the ocean. Now that, no matter how good Val's role was or his performance was, that type of explosion and all that noise was witnessed. So, but during the explosion and the chaos of everyone running up to look in the water where the dragon dove in, Grampak and Sugash managed to slip out of the warehouse, hopefully unnoticed. So, at this point, that's exactly where we left off, I do believe.
Yeah, we were walking.
Yeah.
The three of us were walking.
Yeah, because...
back up into the city, away from it.
Or back down into the city. No, up into the city, because you have to go up the rises. So, you guys are making your way out of there. There's a bunch of chaos. People are literally running by you, because there's, everyone runs to watch the fire. So, there's people running by you to see what happened. People are already starting to talk about a dragon. A dragon attacked a building, blah, 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 blah. And so, people are gathering around and whispering, talking, but you guys are just making your way up the street. You guys make it all the way back to the lift to go up. No one tries to stop you. There's no indication of anything going on. By the time you get a couple of blocks away, they basically there's not even any sign of anyone pursuing you, and everything settles back down to pretty much normal. So the two
Glorious.
Nice.
the two big things you have is number one, you were for the job you were asked to get the loot or make sure he didn't have it.
So by the letter of the the job, we did succeed.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do now that you have succeeded in the job?
Well, Val and his infinite wisdom left my hide with that armor.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very least, I need to go back and get that. What we discussed from that point forward is going to be decided there. But
Yeah.
at the very least, I have goodies that were not properly stored in their place, and I want my shit back.
I agree.
Well, were you still brokering with him? That's what you were brokering for. It was actually for him to do the work on that and create those items for you out of it.
Correct.
Yeah, he was basically offered to create a set of leather armor that gave him the ability to step into
through
walls or
yeah.
step through walls, and had potentially offered to continue the work that I had done on the skull plate shield that I'm in the process of making for Shugosh.
Gotcha.
But when we left, because I went to go stop Shugosh from doing something too crazy, because there was a creature in need, and we all know Shugosh. And told Val to gather everything up, and he left that behind. So that's where I'm going.
Okay. So you guys are heading. Are you guys all following Grandpa down there?
Absolutely.
All right. So it takes you, like I said, it takes you the better part of an hour to, once you get up the top of the lift, to make it all the way back down out to the market district, which is on the very edge where all the carts come in from all the caravans coming into the capital. So it takes you about an hour to make your way all the way down there. So let's cut back to the manor house while we're doing that. So Utopia, you and Aom were, you're given your rooms. Aom was force bathed.
Force bathed.
Wow. And how?
Not the bath was the problem. The treatment was the issue. It was excessive.
He was being waited on. Hand and hoof. Like, ugh.
Can't have it. Can't have it.
So, Aom, what is, sorry, I say Utopia, you are also took a bath and got ready and everything like that. And you were both going to be, were you guys going to go downstairs to dinner? You're the only two people other than the seneschal and your dad's personal valet who are going to be, at dinner. So are you guys going down to dinner?
Yeah.
It would be rude not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you guys are heading downstairs. You guys, Aom, you have the you notice very easily that although there's servants, like I said, there's an upstairs maid, there's a downstairs maid. Unless they're in your room attending you, or they're doing something directly related to you, the two of you, they basically, you don't see them other than that. So, excuse me. So, other than whenever you request something or need something, or whenever they're attending you for a function that they know they need to perform, like giving you a bath, or helping you get dressed after the bath, which happened too, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And basically, and what they did is they brought you some like clothing that they approximated would fit you, and because your garments are being washed, they're filthy.
Wait, how am I dressed
Damn,
then?
Art.
Huh?
How am I dressed then?
Well, you're probably in a very long tunic shirt.
Okay,
They don't really have pants that would fit you properly.
fair. I can
If
live
you
with
even wear pants.
that. I do generally wear pants. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Sort of end
basically
at like my knees.
Yeah. So you basically get all that set up, or you get all that happen to you, and happen to you, and then you basically kind of make your way downstairs. You and Utopia are pretty much coming out of your rooms roughly at the same time. You knew that dinner was supposed to be at, in the early evening. You make your way downstairs.
I'm posing when Utopia comes out of her room.
You're posing.
How do I look? I'm like trying to look as fancy as possible. I've got like my foot up on like a little like part of this, like a stool or something.
Are you Captain Morganing it?
You look wonderful.
Great, because I feel horrible.
Oh no.
So you go downstairs, taking the two grand staircases that come down to that huge open air arboretum with the giant marble floor with Utopia's family crest that's inlaid in it and the gold veining in it, and you come down from that, and towards underneath the staircase, there's a set of double doors. You go through the double doors and you come into a great room. It has a huge fireplace on the far wall, and the fireplace goes up and it goes and it's the fireplace is like 10 feet wide, and it's a rock fireplace that goes all the way up to the ceiling, which is about 18 feet over your head. This area is, this is not part. The two wings of the house are on either side of this, so this is just an open air situation. Okay, and it goes all the way up 18 feet up in the air, and on either side of the fireplace are 10-foot wide by 18-foot tall windows. I mean, they're framed, but that is a fuck ton of money in glass. And the glass is not warped; it is clear.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
So that's not just glass; that's expensive glass.
Yeah.
Fancy glass.
What can I see out of the window if I can see from this point that I'm at?
There is a courtyard behind the house. It only goes up for like maybe 20 yards until it hits the back wall. But in the courtyard, it is an incredibly well-maintained garden, which has plants and topiary from everywhere you've ever seen before, stuff you've never seen before. And all of this is well-tended, well-kept, and it is immaculately done. And there is a set of glass doors on either side of those columns of glass windows that goes out onto the back area. And you can see that there's benches strategically placed. There's little grottos that are surrounded by hedged over bushes. And it's you can tell that this whole thing is about as wide as the house, because it goes off your field of vision on either side of the windows.
Oh, wow.
And Utopia, you know that this is the garden. It's just been, you played here for hours and hours as a kid. You know that to the left there is a lovely pond that has, decorative fish in it. You know that to the right there is a large pear tree that, for some reason, gives fruit year-round. Oh, and for some reason, even when it snows here, which it rarely ever does, but even when it snows or gets cold, the garden is always warm. There's no roof over it. There's no enclosure.
And would I know the climate of Alatros? I haven't spent much time here. Would I know that that's like odd?
Well, it's a coastal city. Because it's on a cliff, it usually is, the biggest things it has to worry about is storms from the sea. And it has to worry about, some high winds from the wind shear off the ocean. But since it's on the downslope of a cliff face, the cliff breaks the wind a lot, so it provides it a natural bank from that. Now, the fingers get really pounded, and the docks down below are equally usually hit pretty hard. But they've all been there forever, and like I said, the docks down below are called the quay for a reason. All the dock systems are made of stone piers that have been literally made by people having brought out stones and dropped them into the ocean to make these long ass, like half-mile long piers that boats come up and anchor to. So this is designed to weather extreme weather situations. Okay, so but the other thing is that it does kind of can get cold here. But it doesn't get cold enough to like snow or anything like that, mainly because you're right off the ocean. And you're in equatorial climates here, but because of the small size of the planets and everything like that, it's not like, and the weak nature of the brown stars that actually provide radiation to the planets, there is very little general change in weather or weather patterns from the pole up to like almost to the edge of the Great Northern Reach. And then when you get up to the northern portions of it, which is like the last few hundred miles until the pole, that's where you see a great gradation and change in temperature. So yeah, if it snows down here, it is incredibly rare.
Okay.
By the way, Fox Rider wants custard.
Yeah, It's a fruit tart I got from work
Ooh.
because I'm being
Nice.
fancy. So
Fruit tart. So anyway, you guys come down as you guys walk into that. To the left is the kitchen area. To the right, off the great room, and through a huge arc of hand-carved single piece of wood that goes in an arc that spans about 12 feet up in the air and is about 15 feet wide. But you can see that there's no line. There's no separation. This is a full piece of wood. Now, no wood naturally grows like this. And it's basically looks like it's almost been grown in place. And it separates the dining room from the rest of the great room. There is a huge table. Looks like it could seat at least 15 people. It is got a marble top. And it's got huge stone legs, not stone legs, but huge wooden legs that are each one carved to look like a different animal's leg. Like one looks like a cat's giant, like lion's leg or something like that. One of them looks like an elephant's leg. Another one looks like a giant clawed leg and foot of a great raptor-like bird that's perched on some kind of ball to make it be able to sit on the ground properly. And so every single one, and then you can see some stuff that's probably from mythical creatures. You know what I mean? And so all those are different legs on the table, and it's basically laid out to where like I said, it can seat probably about 16 people, and so that's 7 aside and then 1 on either end. Okay, so you guys walk in, and there is.
I'm walking towards the kitchen.
Huh?
Walking towards the kitchen.
So
what are we having?
It's like, we're having dinner, sir. As our valet just comes out of fucking nowhere
just
and
material.
grabs you by the shoulders and steers you back towards the dining room.
Do you not serve yourself?
He's like, "Oh no, sir.
No.
The servants will eat when later after all the cleaning has been done."
Oh, and it's brother.
Yes, brother, sir.
Okay.
And he goes. He gestures to the dining table. You can see that 2 places have been set on the end of the table nearest to the entrance to the dining room, and they're facing each other on either side of the table. You can also see that there are pictures all along the wall of Utopia's family, paintings, everything like that, and you can see that some of the paintings are very old, and there is a lot of places that there are men in armor, there are women in formal gowns. There's a couple of pictures of a very distinguished looking man who has a lot of scars on his face, and he is it's probably the oldest, dustiest picture, and it's actually nothing's dusty. What am I saying?
No.
It's the oldest picture. It shows the most amount of like fading from just like light hitting it.
Yeah.
And so, but you can still make out the features, and he bears a very strong resemblance to Utopia. You can tell that the physical traits run very strong in this family, and he is sitting there, and he's got this stern look on his face, and you swear his eyes like just follow you through the room. He's got dark hair, he's got a dark mustache, a dark beard. It's not peppered with gray, so you figure he's probably in his 30s when the picture was painted. He is wearing the same armor that Utopia was wearing. And you can see that in his right hand there is the same hammer that Utopia was carrying with a family crest.
Oh boy.
I'm starting to notice a theme.
You notice that none of the other men in the family are painted wearing in the armor.
Oh, interesting.
None of the other women in the family are either.
Who is that?
That is Lord Leviathan Astor the First, my great grandfather.
Wow. And he's wearing your armor.
Well, I'm wearing his armor.
I suppose that does make sense chronologically. Why does nobody else wear it?
I'm not sure, because I know other relatives have worn it before me and wielded the hammer before me, but my theory was always that he was the one who had it made because he was the first.
Okay. Interesting. Well,
The valet is just standing there politely while as you guys discuss this.
Just
Aom's
staring.
like the hair on the back of his neck, like does like not like actual like fur, or anything, just like the back of his neck, like the hair's always on end, like. Just, like
I don't even notice. I'm just like, yeah, he's doing his thing. Like,
Always been there.
he's always, that's the other thing is that it's not that Utopia doesn't register that like the eyes of this portrait follow her. It's just that they have always been following her, so she just doesn't even care. She's like, yeah, that's the portrait that stares at you all day. Can we eat? Like, you know, all of this is so like, yeah, whatever. Like,
all right. Well, I'd actually like to know more about your family at some point. But we'll try to do some eating, whatever that involves, because clearly everything is very different. We do eat with forks and knives, perhaps chopsticks.
He reaches out, yes, sir, and he picks up a little glass bell. It was actually a crystal bell, and he rings it. And it is the most perfect sounding chimes you've ever heard. And two gentlemen that you could have sworn to God were statues step away from the fucking wall, walk up, and pull the chairs out for both of you to sit down.
Wow.
yep, I just sit right down.
And push the chair in.
I do remember how useless I am. Yes, your beard's better, Utopia. And I gesture towards the portrait of the man. I guess it gets better with the generations.
Each one of these servants reaches out and grabs the goblet of water and pours you each a glass of water. And Utopia, you know it's customary that if you want anything other than water, you just make a request and they bring it to you. Mm-hmm. So, do you want anything other than water, Utopia?
Can I get some tea? Some green tea, please.
Yes.
The servant nods to you and then steps back, but doesn't go anywhere. And the other gentleman looks over your shoulder and he kind of looks at you. The other servant looks at you. By the way, this is Manfred and Hans. They're young men that they have been trained by the steward. Most of the servants here are all family. These gentlemen are basically the grandchildren of the steward. I think I told you that the steward's son is currently the stable master. And but you know, everyone comes through usually through one family. But this is like these two gentlemen have been raised with your family. You played with them when you were all little children. You don't know when things changed, but like when you started getting older, you were no longer allowed to play with them. Yeah. And they were basically, were, being taught their duties, and you were being taught how to be a young late noble. And so you basically were split away from each other when you probably hit about 9 or 10. So, and then whenever they came around, they were doing their duties as a servant, which you had grown up with all your life. And, it was weird for a little while, but then it just came normal.
Yeah. Oh my god. Aom is now suffering a tea addiction.
And the gentleman kind of leans forward, Aom, and he kind of looks, he says, this is Hans, by the way, and he says, would you care for anything else to drink?
I'll also have the tea.
He nods, and he steps back. A few minutes later, a young woman comes out. You recognize her as the downstairs maid. She's an older lady, sorry. She comes out, and she's carrying a tray, and on the tray there are 2 bowls. And she puts the bowls down in front of each one of you, and it's a hot, steaming soup. And she says, "Split pea soup, miss."
Thank you.
She says, "We tried to make sure we made all your favorites."
I appreciate it a lot.
And as she says that, the young lady who you know as the upstairs maid comes walking out with a tray with a beautiful silver tea set on it. This tea set is worth a fucking fortune. It's gorgeous. It's basically a work of art. And she basically puts down a cup in front of each one of you, and she pours the perfect amount of tea in each cup, leaving just enough room for cream and sugar if needed. And then she sets the teapot down on the table on this little stand that you didn't even notice it, has a lit candle under it, and basically the pot goes over the candle.
Wow. That the cold nights on Kyrell that'd be a really good thing. I'm just like struggling with conversation. These people have mastered a form of calm that not even some of the masters of the temple would be able to rival.
The steward kind of looks around and he says, "Our servants here are the most well-disciplined and trained individuals. They have served this family for generations. Their duty knows no bounds. Their loyalty is unquestioned. And their love for this family is well known."
I respect your devotion.
Says,
I understand it.
He says, "Enjoy your soup. The next course will come shortly." And he kind of like steps back, and he stands just outside of the archway into the dining room, but with his back to you. The only persons facing towards you are the two servants in the room. And the only thing they ever do is refill your drinks as they get low and ask you if there's anything else you need whenever they do so.
Hey, I was gonna pass away.
I would like to say a few words to the mother, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
I would like to thank her for allowing me this opportunity to learn about a culture that is so very different from mine, and about my best friend's home, and to be able to spend some time eating lovely food and smelling like lovely flowers.
So the rest of the entire evening passes very pleasantly, if somewhat awkwardly, as a variety of dishes are brought before you. Is Am a vegetarian?
Yes.
Yeah.
If he makes that known, then like after the split pea soup, whereas Milagros is basically served squab, and which is basically pink pigeon, but it is also considered a delicacy. As Milagros is served squab, you are served a very hearty and robust herb salad that has a very odd dressing you've never tasted before, and it comes, and basically, and breadsticks and stuff like that. And they make, you can tell that the salad may have been thrown together very, very hastily because they did not know you were a vegetarian. But after that, like, there's like steamed vegetables and everything like that, so your courses change almost immediately. Milagros is served everything else, and that normally would be served to her, but your courses are changed immediately. Like you have, everything that you get is very hot and very fresh.
My goodness.
When will we be getting back to Val, Shugash, and Grandpak?
The steward turns around and walks up to the table, and he says, "Oh, the young Miss's father has made it very, very, very clear that young Miss will be staying until he can make his way home. He has sent word that you are to remain on the grounds and that he should be able to arrive in 3 days.
Can we send letters?
He says, you can send whatever you like. He's like, if you'd rather, we can just have our sage send missives. They're limited in word, of course, but
That's normally expensive.
he is just one of the many people who serve.
Well, that would be very useful. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's like, he's gonna look, it's like, the steward kind of looks, little miss, if I may be so bold.
Of course.
You were out for quite some time. Did you encounter any problems? I notice the armor has some blemishes.
Well, I didn't seek out trouble. It
You left the house, little miss, so I'm going to have to counter that with yes, you did.
not not directly.
There's
Every time that it appeared, it just seemed to find me and my friends a few times, but we made it back.
He puts up one hand. I'm sorry, friends. There's more.
3 more.
Are we to be expecting 3 more guests?
I would hope so. I wasn't able to tell them to come with us, and we can't leave.
Well, it'd be almost impossible to find them in the city. Do they know where you live?
No. I could describe them? And
They're
where
very
they were
noticeable.
headed?
They're very noticeable. he says, in a city this size, it would still be near impossible. And by the way, this is happening at basically kind of the end of the meal, right before the dessert course is served. And by the way, the dessert course is fucking ice cream.
Woo! Let's get it.
Nice.
In a world with no
Familiar with
refrigeration, you're getting ice cream. Yeah, you've never seen this before, Aeon. It tastes like frozen cream, but it's sweet and it has a vanilla flavor. You've had vanilla beans before. You know what those taste like, and you've had them ground up on stuff to make it sweeter. But this, it tastes like it's been infused with vanilla beans. It's light, it's cold, it melts on your tongue, and all the flavors fill your mouth. It's amazing.
A little bit odd. Not used to cold, like frozen food.
So,
Also, why does everybody fear the spoken word as if they were headed to a chopping block? As if they misspoke, they might die.
Oh no.
who are you asking that of?
That's Utopia, but if he's still standing there, I'm cool with that being a broad question.
And he says, he kind of looks at you, Miss Utopia. He's like, has Little Miss given you some kind of indication that we fear to speak?
No, you did. When you asked if you were okay to speak out of turn. I consider that odd.
Well, the station of the family is such that we are here to serve, and servants by our nature are to be unassuming and unnoticed unless needed.
Like a spy.
No, like a servant. And
Okay.
we do our best to make sure that the family is cared for, and we do it in a way that is not as intrusive in their lives as little as possible. We want
That
to be
doesn't
there
really- That doesn't explain why you wouldn't want to speak your mind.
because our mind is to care for our Lord and Lady. Our duty is to do so. We are not here to ask them questions or make requests of them or make demands of them. Our needs are all met. We are here to attend to their needs. So the need for us to give anything other than the information needed for any situation, such as me asking young Miss if there was going to be more guests, we would need to know that in order that we can prepare more rooms and prepare more food.
I mean, no disrespect, I just wish to understand. But why are their needs greater than yours if nobody looks after you in the same way that you look after them?
Class consciousness. Class consciousness.
It is very simple. Our needs are already met. Our needs are attended to and tended for.
Why are their needs greater?
I don't understand what you mean by greater. There is nothing greater than to serve those who are willing to care for you, who take your family in and give them a place to stay, who take your family in and elevate them, who make sure your children know how to read and write. I have 2 other sons who do not work here. They are both attending university. One of them is in the Arcanum. And the Lord pays for everything.
I think I can see the trade. I did mean no disrespect.
No.
In fact, I don't know if you're familiar with my order. We collect this sort of knowledge, and I've never experienced this. But thank you.
Every new experience is a blessing from the Mother.
It is, absolutely. You are clearly devout. Actually, I would love to be escorted at some point to either a shrine or temple, as it would seem unfair to deprive me of my connection to the Mother.
Absolutely, sir. Once the meal is finished, you can go out into the gardens. It is a lovely night. It's always a lovely night in the gardens. And there is a temple, a shrine on the other side of the wall that the fireplace sits on. I think you will find it very dedicated to the Mother's love.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you do not need to wait for escort. You do not need to have anyone show you to it if you do not wish.
I was getting very used to people doing things for me.
In that
Not
case,
that I was comfortable with it.
He says, so, real quick, does anyone remember, I'm sorry, I'm going out of GM mode. The message spell, do you have to have encountered the person to use it? Or sending?
I can't remember. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up too. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
You're muted, Brum.
Jingle, jingle, jingle bells. Third level.
Message you need to be in visual contact.
And sending is the one that can go anywhere.
Sending can go anywhere.
Yeah, to a creature with you are familiar.
Okay, so he can't do anything with that because he's not familiar with any of them. Okay.
Oh man.
So you guys, let's.
I got it handled.
Let's go ahead and flip it.
Yep.
And switch back to the other guys. So you guys have made it into the Palm proper, and you made it through the Palm proper, and you're back to the actual marketplace at the front. By this time, I mean it was about midday when you got here, and all this walking around took the most part of it. But it's now like late afternoon. It's getting ready to roll into evening, actually. So what are you guys? You guys walk back and you see that his shop is there. Everything is still there. You don't see the merchant, but you see all his stuff is still out and on display. The suit of armor is still sitting there, and but you don't see him anywhere. Now he does have that tent in the back that is stood up that has a drape over it. So there is an area where he could actually go back into.
Do we see the items that I left for him to work on?
No.
Okay.
Was there a bell?
No.
I'd assume being a shop that there's swords and shields.
He actually works mainly with leathers. I'm assuming you walk right up to it?
Yeah, I'm walking right up to it.
As you come walking up to it, you never saw this before, but as you come walking up to it, a creature hops down off of a counter. I don't know if any of you have seen it before. it's like before. You may have, because they're not uncommon. It is about a 2.5 foot tall, small looking lizard like creature with almost like a dog's muzzle where a lizard's beak should be. And it has.
Kobold?
Yep. It's a kobold. And as you can walk up, he's wearing a leather vest. He's wearing like a leather satch skirt. And he's got a couple of daggers over his back that are like short swords. And he hops down, and he as you come over, he hops up on the countertop in front of you, and he kind of squeaks, looks at you, and he squeaks. It's like, "What can we do for you?"
We're looking for. Good.
Looking for the owner of this stall. We have business with him.
He'll be back shortly. He stepped out to get some dinner. He says, "Are you?" And he kind of looks at you. You have to be. You're the ones who brought the skull.
Indeed.
He kind of looks around. He's like, "How much do you want for it?"
I look to Sugash and Grandpak. I'm pretty sure we don't want anything for it.
Oh,
As in, it's not for sale.
that's unfortunate. It would have made me an excellent chariot.
And I reassess him in his stature, and I'm thinking about the skull. I could see that being the case.
He says,
But yeah, unfortunately, it is not up for grabs.
He says, so he told me you were on a job for him. And if you came back, that I was supposed to get confirmation that you did the job.
Yes, the job has been completed. However, I would rather tell him in person.
He says, okay. He says, go down the row. He says, you'll see an old building on the right-hand side with smoke coming out the top. He says, that's Grundy's. He says, he makes the best open-faced sandwiches for leagues. He says, boss is in there. He says, he'd probably be miffed that you're bothering him during dinner, but business is business.
Indeed, it is. And I appreciate your assistance with this.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much for subscribing, my beautiful wife. So you guys start heading out?
Yeah, I start heading in that direction, and I kind of look back towards Sugash and Grandpak to see if they're accompanying.
Food sounds good, right? Food.
I
We'll
could
follow.
All right. So as you walk away, you see the kobold as sitting there watching you walk away, and you see him. He kind of like he reaches down and he picks up a spear, and he was like, "I was even making a lance."
I giggle to myself, and I say to Val, my quarry, well, that's certainly an interesting one.
He's like, kobolds don't usually run around alone, from what I remember.
That's good to know.
He's like, if unless something happened, there may be more of them that work for that guy.
Interesting. I'll make a mental note of that.
They tend to travel in packs.
How many in the pack?
Depends on the warren. Could be hundreds.
Hell's bells.
You're talking to yourself again.
And I smile and raise an eyebrow. Yes. Remember, we talked about this briefly. I have a second soul that I can communicate with her whenever I need to.
It must be really loud inside your head.
Sometimes, yes.
So you guys head down, and it's just as he described. On the right-hand side, there is a very rundown, ramshackle-looking building. Outside on the front of the building, and these are just like, there's an open air area with all the ground's been stomped very, very flat, and there's several tables out there. The building itself looks like there's barely any room inside of it. There's like 2 or 3 tables actually inside the building. The rest of it is all one big kitchen. There's a bunch of people working in the kitchen, and it's counter service. So there's one person who's sitting at the counter inside the building, and there's another person who's at a window on the outside of the building. There is a decent sized crowd coming in here, and everyone that walks away from the building, they're walking away with basically a big brown paper wrap that almost all brown paper wraps are already soaking through with grease. And the people that you have that you see that are opening up there, that is eating there, they're opening up, and it basically looks like it's a big roll of some kind, and it's got a whole bunch of shredded meats stuffed in the roll with peppers and some kind of sauce. You don't know what it is. And each one of the rolls is like about as big as Grandpa's fist. And it looks like it's just been simply split and then stuffed full.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Before we walk in, I look over at Grandpa, and I go, I'm gonna do something before we walk in. It's gonna feel a little weird, but just as a safety precaution, in case things begin to go south, and I'm gonna activate Mind Link with Grandpa, and I will say out loud, "Our mind to your mind," and in Grandpa's head, you hear both my speaking voice and my quarry's female voice. Our thoughts to your thoughts.
The fuck?
And now you're officially a Vulcan.
And we speak into your mind. This will allow us to communicate with you, and for you to communicate with us silently, in case things go awry. We are sorry for the discomfort, but it's necessary.
Do I have to talk out loud?
No.
He just said that
Thank
out loud.
God.
All right. So, like I said, there's a big crowd outside. There's a big crowd waiting in line in front of the window. You see that the leather worker is sitting with his back to you at one of the seats. And he's sitting with 2 other gentlemen. Two other beings. One of them looks like a very well-attired man, human in appearance, very, very, very handsome. He is got blonde hair, he's got blonde eyebrows, and his eyes are some of the most startling features because they're almost silver. And literally, with the light that's coming in here, you can literally see the light reflecting off the silver of his eyes. The other guy with him is a very stocky, wide, heavy-set dwarf who is wearing a kind of chainmail armor, but the chainmail armor is festooned with hooks all over it that point outward. And on each one of his hands, he's wearing a gauntlet. And each one of the gauntlets has, coming off the gauntlet, like on the back of it going out, is a large flat spike on each hand. And the dwarf is just like, he's got one of the sandwiches, he's like shoving his face, he's not even paying attention.
Bro, how are you gonna eat without stabbing yourself in the face?
That's a real good question.
Years of practice. He's got proficiency.
Yeah.
He's got proficiency in not stabbing himself in the face. And with all the scar tissue, you think he probably has stabbed himself in the face.
He's probably stabbed himself in the face. That's what the beard covers. Just all the stab wounds.
There you go.
Yep.
And what's the vendor's name again?
Oh shit. I don't remember.
I'll check.
It was something very normal.
Yeah.
Look at that. She can search one-handed.
Well, yeah, this is an apple with Nutella. Like, it's not.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, it's Nutella. Oh man, I don't think I caught it.
Oh,
Fox.
shit.
Fox,
Well,
can we
alrighty
get a
then.
name check? Yeah.
I'm going to the pin things and see them.
I think you named him Frank.
Did I name him after
Yeah.
Frank?
I don't fucking know.
Let me check. Yeah, Fox.
He's
check,
checking.
'cause, like,
Checking.
because I got freaking everything else.
What session are we on?
So this is
Eight.
8.
8, okay. Just going through all the notes.
No. I'm just going through session 7 notes.
Yeah.
I don't think you named it.
You named
Oh, 2 for 2.
Is it Frank?
I don't think he has an official name.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. Then we will name him Frank.
Frank. Yay! Does he talk like Frank?
Huh? No. Does he grumble in a low roll tone that
Yeah,
sounds
exactly.
like rocks rolling down a hill?
That's really good.
All right. So, Frank, Phrank.
Yes. Yeah. We gotta differentiate.
And so, as you guys, what do you guys do first?
We think to
Frank is sitting with his back to you. The other two gentlemen are facing you.
we think to Grandpak, keep an eye on those other two. I don't like the look of them.
Okay.
And
Then
so I will.
Are you gonna go get food, or are you gonna go talk to him?
I'm gonna go talk to him.
Okay. So should we have Shugash go get food? Because food is important at this point.
Food is very important.
Yeah.
Yes, we agree. Yes, we would all love to eat. Let's get food.
So you guys go jump in line while keeping an eye on the table.
Apparently, I'm getting in line.
Yeah, Shugash is getting in line. I'm kind of standing at a point to where I can see both of them, and letting Val go and approach Frank with a PH.
Gotcha.
I love it.
All right. So you guys start heading over there. Or sorry, Val starts heading over there. Grandpa, you kind of position yourself where you can see the table, but you can also see Sugash in line. Sugash, you go queue up and do the whole step.
Yeah,
Step.
I am
Oh my God.
completely ignoring social bubbles and distancing and standing as close to the person in front of me as possible. While randomly grunting. Just see
I have
if
to
can
know.
run through the line a little faster.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
god.
Sugash ever stood in line for anything?
No.
So
I'm
the-
sorry. I'm just imagining
So-
being like that poor person that's like, I'm so tired and I'm so hungry, and this fucking monster's just like, "What's up?"
So you come up, you walk up behind.
Every step we take, I'm just.
You walk up behind this guy in line. The guy is in like leather clothing. Looks like he might, he's got a bow across his back. He's got a quiver of arrows on his hip. You see a couple of daggers in key places, and you kind of walk up, and you're like, he's got longish, wavy brown hair, and just coming out of the hair, you can barely see points of ears. It doesn't look like he's a full elf because those ears are not pointy enough. So he's probably a half elf. And so as you walk up behind him, even though you're not as tall as Grandpa, you still tower over this guy because he's like 5'3". So as you walk up behind him,
yes.
you're like kind of standing right up to him, and after a couple seconds he kind of like stops as he's walking. After a couple seconds he kind of stops and looks up, and he's like, "Are you really gonna just loom on me like that?"
Do you have a problem with it?
He's like, he kind of, when you lean over, like, he kind of looks up and he's like, "Oh shit."
Intimidation, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then he
Active
kind of, and
intimidation.
then he kind of smiles up, and he's like, "You're cute."
Woo!
Oh, I
Get
like
it, Sugas!
He's like, "So come here often?"
We love to see it!
No, don't think so.
He says, "Don't ever judge a book by its cover. Some of us live a long time and have experienced a lot of things."
Apparently not languages. Not today.
He's like, "All right, well, I figured you were trying to cuddle."
Oh, I love Fox Rider for this. His name is Lorenzo, and I love him.
Fox Rider, you have won the right to name Lorenzo Lorenzo.
Oh, that's such a perfect name.
I want Lorenzo to come back.
I need Lorenzo. I need
Lorenzo's gotta be
Lorenzo fan art.
recurring.
I need Lorenzo fan art, and I need it now.
So, Sugash, what happens next is a very odd experience for you. As he steps forward, and you step forward and, like, you know, go to be intimidating, and for some reason, he just snuggles back into you and leans.
I love it!
My hand on his neck and keep him at a
Just holding him out there! And he's like, "Damn, we're already to choking?"
Love him.
choking usually unconscious.
It's like, well, not in public. I mean, that wouldn't be seemly.
Oh my god!
Boy.
Now, I have a question. My casual thoughts get picked up by Val's story.
It's Val and Val's Corey.
Yeah.
My surface thoughts get picked up by them? Or do I have to mentally, like, say shit to them and direct it towards them?
He's looking it up.
There's no hard rule for it.
I want it to be yes.
I would also love it to be yes, but I would also leave that up to the DM.
I think that since it's a means of communication, you have to actively try to send thoughts back and forth.
Okay.
There you go.
We'll never know.
All right, so he'd actually, once you shove him forward, do you just continue to hold him there?
I'm just keeping him at a distance.
Oh, I mean, but when you shove him forward, do you let him go when you shove him forward, or?
Yeah.
Okay, once you let him go, he's like, "Can't blame a boy for trying." And he maintains the arm length distance from that point on, and he's like, "But at least I don't have a big guy looming over me anymore. At least not without a promise."
Survive the impact.
He's like, "But what a lovely, growly way to go."
Period.
Wow.
Also, yeah, at Fox Rider, I want Aom and Lorenzo to meet as well.
He says, "Seen them, mate? Is that like something you can pay to do, or do you just?"
Weird city, probably. I don't think he would survive the encounter.
He's like, "All right, well, I'll keep that in consideration." And he walks up, and by this time you've hit the window, and he walks up and he says, "1 wit." He's like, "And whatever they're having."
Nice.
And the guy kind of like, and the guy's like, "You got it, Lorenzo. Trying to score another date?" And you see the guy just like, he gets a roll out of this bucket of rolls beside him. He slices it up with a knife. He grabs a pair of tongs. He grabs a big slab of meat, slaps it in there. He goes into another barrel that's on that's suspended in a boiling pot of water. Grabs a bunch of grilled onions and peppers and slaps it in there. And then he gets a ladle and ladles some weird yellowish white substance and just pours across the top. Slaps it in a brown paper wrap, wraps it up, and slides it across the counter. And he's like, 3 silver. And Lorenzo's like, slides across 2 gold. And he's like, cover theirs and keep the rest for a tip.
Nice.
Period. And he tips.
And he turns around. He turns around. And he has the rolls in his hand, and he kind of looks at you up and down, Stugosh, and she's like, "It's better from the front." And he says, "But Lorenzo's the name. If you change your mind, I'm always around when I'm not out."
I'm still running to you again.
He's like,
Oh no, we will. Oh no, we will.
and he kind of like leans in a little bit. He's like, "Will I survive the impact?"
My brother that question and see how far it gets.
You have a brother? Where?
Oh my god! He's like, bro.
Oh,
There's
really
2?
far and
Yo.
find them
Oh no, Grandpa's mine.
You can't sue us. Dog is mine, bro. He's mine.
All right, it's almost 8:30, and I think we need a break after all that. So we will take 10 minutes, and we will be right back. I hit the button too soon. I said 10 minutes. We'll be right back. It's 8:22. We're back by 8:32. So we'll see you in 10 minutes, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And I'm tired for some reason. Alright, so you guys, so he paid for all your food. And as you're walking up to the counter, the guy basically asks you, whittle it out.
What am I
Good choice. Peppers and onions. And he reaches into a tin that's got steaming hot shredded beef of some kind or meat of some kind. He slaps it in the roll. He reaches another tin, slaps a whole bunch of what looks like to be sauteed peppers and onions, slaps it on top of the meat, and then gets a big ladle and he pours and drizzles some yellowish white sauce all across the top of it. And he slaps that in a roll, and he does that. He does that. How many you need?
3, please.
He's like, Jesus, I'm getting a big ass tip. And he makes 2 more and slaps them out and he goes like, there you go. He's like, oh, and Lorenzo had me right where he lives on the outside of your wrapper.
Yes! We are visiting! We are visiting!
I'm gonna give him a couple silver. And then when I hand the sandwiches back, I'm giving that one to Grumhawk.
No!
Okay, so Val,
I love it.
you're walking up to the table, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk up to the table, and as you're walking up, the gentleman with the blondish white hair kind of looks up and he sees you coming, and he says, Frank, I do believe your friends have arrived. He's like, a proper introduction, if you please. And Frank turns around and looks at you, and he is fucking white. Like, and his eyes are fucking huge. And he says, this is Marcus. So I sent you to get something, and so you did a good job, and so I went and I called in the marker, and I wasn't expecting to get this much. I didn't know what the thing was. He's like, Frank, sit down. You are making a scene.
Breaking meta. He literally told us that it was a dragon wormling.
Did he? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Val.
Okay, I got
That's
that
why
in
we
the
took
notes.
Val.
Yeah.
Like, so just as a heads up.
Oh
and
yeah,
breaking
because you
your
said you're
meta,
gonna go.
I'm sorry.
No, you're gonna go get dragon. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
He still said what he said. And the gentleman behind him says, just sit down and finish your sandwich, Frank. And he says, you and your friends did this job.
That's correct. We made an agreement.
Oh, yes. Then the agreement is honored. He says, Frank's debts have been forgiven as per my associate's statement to him. He says, if my people give my word, I keep it.
That's good to know. And we were very appreciative of that.
He says, it was, from what I've heard, it was quickly done. And the only person of note was you.
We kind of furrow our brow and kind of give him a quizzical look. How so?
Well, people who own that particular location that was storing that particular creature they're very quick on putting two and two together. And when a strange troubadour comes along and creates a huge ruckus for exactly the length of one song, and then disappears suddenly after all this chaos ensues, two and two are quickly put together. And after a couple of patrons are quickly nabbed off the street and forced to give up your appearance from their very minds, it's quite easy to scry on you and track you down.
Well, clearly the scrying was unnecessary, as here we are.
It's like, oh, I had to take a sky cab to get here ahead of you. Sweet God, that took forever.
Ah, I see.
He says, so, I'm here on a dual mission. First.
And I'm sorry, I'm forgive my rudeness. I'm not acquainted with who you happen to be.
My name is Marcus.
Marcus, that's right.
And I work for the Emerald Clan. And how versed is Val in, like, how far? I mean, he's a bard, so he probably has lots of context. What is the context of his contacts?
Mostly libraries and other like taverns and inns.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there are about 6 separate crime syndicates that operate within the city.
Okay.
The Emeralds are pretty much. There's a vying for the top dog position, but neither one of the 2 top clans want to go to war to establish who is the top.
Okay.
And so they basically, the Emerald and the Ruby are the 2 top clans.
Okay.
Okay. And all the other clans have names. There's the Amethyst. There's the all the other clans are named off of gemstones.
They're all gemstones. Okay.
Yeah. Now the Emerald is mainly does trade in gambling institutes, very traditional mobbish type operations. Houses of ill repute, protection rackets, and the like.
Okay.
But the biggest thing that they do is that they are big time brokers in information.
Okay.
The Ruby are more smash and grab experts, heists, robberies, assassinations, out and outright murder. And they also are very big on muscle and very big on intimidation rackets and the like. But the Ruby have been around the longest, and they have their hands deep in so many pockets that they're protected on high. It's one of those little secrets that no one really talks about the corruption inside the beautiful city, the capital city, but...
Of course.
Oh, hydrate. Is RJ frozen? No, he's not. Hydrate!
I've got coffee.
Drink coffee.
Something, fucker.
That's hydration. I've just got grapefruit juice.
So if this man says he works for the Emerald, now you probably don't have any direct dealings with these people, but
Probably
because you work in the entertainment field, you have heard of these guys because they do a lot of. They own a lot of venues. They own a lot of key points, and you just kind of on the outside edges of it run in the same circles.
Yeah, probably
they're
doing my
on-
best to steer clear of them if I could.
Yes. And Marcus stands up and he says, and he kind of like walks around the table, and you can see Frank. There's a sandwich sitting in front of him that looks like it's completely whole, and has not been touched, and his hands are just flat on the table in front of him, and he is just like visibly shaking. And Marcus kind of walks around the table and he walks up to you and he says, "So, that was very good work for people we've never heard of before. And that is not something we really like to be in a situation of, because it makes us look kind of foolish."
Well, it definitely was not our intent to make you look foolish. We were given a task, and we completed that task as far as we were concerned. We were aware that there were some debts to be paid, but we did not know that those debts were to someone of such high esteem.
And he chuckles. And right then, there's a little pop. "Oh, hello." "Hello, Gorilla. How you doing?" But right then, there's a little pop of air bursting out. And on his shoulder, you see a small humanoid-shaped creature with two kind of stubby wings that don't look like he should be able to fly with them, and horns, and he's pink. And he kind of like looks over at you, and he kind of like smiles a big wide grin, and you see he has a very long tail that ends almost in an arrow tip point.
Ah, fun, an imp.
Do you say that out loud?
No,
Okay.
I do think that to Grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it pops in on his shoulder, and it kind of leans over, and you see it cup its hand over and whispers into his ear, and he stops, and he's like, "So, Wallenstein?"
That's correct.
He says, "You were easier to find." He's like, "These two, we still have no idea who they are." He's like, "But
They're
obviously
friends.
they're well traveled." He's like, "And you run in some very interesting circles. Aster, really?"
Ah, yes. Let's just say that they are.
Bro, I would just like to say I'm sorry.
While the Astor family has been a recently acquired circle of mine, yes, I can confirm that.
He's like, "And a monk. This is a very odd mix."
He's a very odd monk.
He's a very odd monk. He says, "Well, he is a monk after all. They have their own charm, I guess you'd say."
Very true.
He says, "But I am not here for threats. I am not here for anything other than to do two things. First
Okay.
off, I want to warn you that if I can find all this information, the Ruby can find all this information. So you're on borrowed time, as it were."
It's funny.
I understand. I understand that you're not going to take me seriously, but I'm being very upfront because obviously I want something from you.
That much was obvious from the moment you stood up and came to greet me. Not that I am necessarily opposed, depending on what that is, of course.
He says, "First off, the job you did showed promise, but we want to see if there is anything that we can do for each other. As in, I may need you to do something that my people couldn't do. You've made a splash in the local pool, as it were."
I applaud your choice of words.
He says, "And I would like to utilize your newness and freshness to the area to utilize you for some work that is pretty much a one-time job. Because after this, you'll also have notoriety, and that reduces your usefulness.
Fair enough. What kind of job would you have in mind exactly?
So there is a few things that I need done, but first off, just a question. Take no offense. How attached are you to Aster?
We are attached to one of their family.
Yes, the
Just
youngest,
one.
Utopia, yes.
Yes.
How attached are you to her? Like, would you mind if we kidnapped her and ransomed her?
I would very much mind that.
I'd like to see you try, bitch.
I consider her.
Try.
I consider her a friend.
He says, in that case, we will consider her a friend.
That is appreciated.
In fact, it would probably be educational for her to participate in this. Getting Aster's hands a little dirty, as it were. Showing her the other side of the city.
I will very, very calmly begin to stroke at my beard. I'm listening. Or rather, we're listening.
So, there is a small turnabout. And in the middle of that turnabout, there is several buildings that form a little courtyard. Inside that courtyard, there is a gentleman who has some information we need. So it is very important that we acquire it. He has protection. And he is a known entity in the crowds I run with. But if we get you there soon enough, you won't have any warning as to who you are. Now, he's suspicious by nature, and that block is in his territory. Now, what happens to him is of absolutely no concern to me. But I need to know a certain sequence of colors that he holds in his head. And I need to know the colors and the sequence.
We will smile kind of knowingly. You singled me out to tell me this, and we definitely do not believe that was by sheer chance of our association with Frank here. Is it safe to assume that you know what we are?
And he says, it's very safe to assume that we know the source of some of your abilities. And it's also very safe to assume that we know more than you even think we know.
Intriguing.
He says, things are afoot. Things are happening. He's like, there's big changes coming.
Yes, we can definitely see the writing on the wall, on several walls, actually, to that end. But we must ask, just simply to satiate our own curiosity, how did you come by this information?
The information of the colors?
The information of us, and Val points to themselves.
Oh, of what you are. And
Correct.
He says, well, when I'm in the presence of certain aspects, certain things, I can feel them. It's my ability. And I have the ability to read surface thoughts on anyone I look at.
Fascinating.
It's like, so when I hear two voices, and I've heard them before, not those particular two, but the unison voice in your mind.
Fair enough. A second question for you. What reason in particular would you have to say, and I hate the word, we hate the word kidnap, but to acquire our friend?
Ransom? Lots of money? I mean, that's just a side job I was thinking for myself.
Ah,
Just a side hustle.
fair enough.
You always
Everyone
gotta
has-
be working.
Everyone,
Yeah,
Everyone's
gotta get
trying
that
to
money,
make-
girl boss.
everybody wants the gold, and we understand that better than most. Trust
He
us.
really said gaslight gatekeep girl boss. I gotta make a TikTok of that.
Please do.
He says,
And
Go
this
ahead.
other gentleman that we are to acquire this information from, would they run in similar circles to you?
"Oh yes,
Interesting.
we wouldn't send you after a layperson. We would send someone we have." Yes, RJ.
So, Val, have you been relaying this entire conversation to Grumpok?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So, all you hear is, the fuck do we get out of this?
Fuck is you want?
A third question for you. How do we benefit from this exchange?
Once this exchange is completed, the biggest benefit you get is that we will let it be known that we sanctioned your job and that you are, let's say, subcontractors to the Ruby. So if there's any direct retaliation,
The ruby or the emerald?
oh, sorry, the Emerald. Sorry.
Okay.
If there's any direct retaliation, then they know what they're doing. Right now, they have a black eye. If they try and give us a bloody nose, then we come back. If they send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue.
Bet. Okay.
That's one thing. The next thing is either we can talk cash, or the Emerald will owe you a favor.
Intriguing. And I'm of course still relaying that to the Grand Posh, along with thoughts.
Thoughts?
Well, typically associate oneself with, for lack of a better word, degenerates such as these.
You see, he makes a face when Grompak says degenerates in your
But-
head.
But at the end of the day, if they are truly powerful, as it seems, a favor may go a long way in the future. Proceed with caution. But I feel that it, under the right circumstances, might be a decent move.
Val nods, we nod. So, I would like to make at least one thing clear. I do not have much in the way of love for what you do or what you stand for. However, I do have a great deal of respect for you. And respect that you would approach us in this way, peaceably. I think in this particular instance, we can do business.
It's like, in that case, you probably should pick up the rest of your folk, because this needs to happen quickly.
Yeah, bust me out, guys.
I would agree.
It says, you do understand that... Oh, well, you probably don't know yet.
Now, this Grompok's wheels turning in the back of his head. Now, if we pretend to kidnap her and then sell her for money, that just gives us money.
Guys, my family's rich. I could just give you money. Like, I have an allowance. Like, I just have money.
You
Like,
know that.
what are
You
you
really
talking
told me
about?
I have an allowance code.
I will literally call my dad and be like, hey, I'm sorry now.
Grompok
want-
doesn't know that. At the end of the day, he's seen the potential to benefit the party with some spoils, and all he has to do is have Utopia go along with it.
I just have money. Like, he doesn't even need...
Have the money, then you just literally take the money and give them the money for the ransom, and then they fucking pay us the money to give them.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
I know, but, like...
Marcus is... Hang on a second. Marcus's eyebrows shoot up and is like, oh, I like him.
No!
I'm rather fond of him as well. He's definitely an interesting character.
Truth.
And so you guys... He looks at you all and he says, in that case, retrieve your friends. He says, and then we will meet after the job is done. From what I understand, he is going to be there for the night, and then he is moving on again. We got lucky in finding him this time. He has the ability to stop us from being able to scry. He said, but there is word out in the street that we're looking for him, and we pay well.
Interesting. Good to know.
He says, so that is the task that we would ask of you. And as I said, what happens to him is no concern to us. And the information that you retrieve, once you have it, and well, once we have it, you're not going to be asked to do anything with it.
Fantastic. And I reach out my hand, then we are all at an accord.
And he says, absolutely. And you grab his hand, and you go to shake his hand. Are you wearing gloves?
I'm not.
Okay. His hand is fucking cold. Icy cold.
Interesting.
And he kind of looks at you and he smiles and he says, always. And he lets go of your hand and he says, in that case, like I said, he's going to be there all night. It's a roundabout. Do you understand what a roundabout is?
Yes.
It's a roundabout with only one entrance in and out, but he has the ability to fly if needed. And as I said, he is guarded, but he is also significant himself. So do not think he does not pose a threat.
That is good to know.
We don't know exactly what he's going to be guarded by at the time. So we know that there is muscle with him. But we know that they're traveling light and fast, so it's not going to be a big crew. It says, once you have the information, we will find you.
Sounds good. We will make ourselves available.
He says, and one last thing. As must be expected, he is not a good person. Neither am I. He says, So do know that if anything happens to him, it's not really going to cause anyone any loss of sleep.
As long as, of course, you have the information beforehand.
Absolutely. Or afterhand, if you have that ability.
Interesting.
I take it I've noticed that he's been listening to my comments, right?
He's made comments directly off of things you're thinking.
So,
I do not want your butthole on my face.
you know, I can't say that I blame you there, sir.
By the way, this is Annie. She's a pain in the ass because she wants to be petted right now.
Okay. Anyways, as part of completing this, can we have our gear made?
Can you have what?
The gear that we discussed with.
With Frank. You did the job for Frank. The gear gets made, right, Frank? And Frank's like, yes, absolutely. I need a 10-day. I at least a 10-day. Can I have a 10-day? And he doesn't look at you at all, Grandpa. He is looking at Marcus, and Marcus looks over at you, Grandpa, and he says, "Can he have a 10-day?"
This is at the time that he needs to do it correctly.
And he looks like, Frank, is that quality or is that speed? And Frank says, it'll be anything he wants, anything you want.
The best of quality.
He says, then I'll bring in extra people.
And I am including in that the shield being done as well.
He says, do you tell him that?
Yeah, like if we complete this for you at the very least, I would like those two, the armor for Val and that shield to be finished. Is what I'm hoping to get out of it for myself.
And Marcus looks at you and he nods, fair price. And he kind of looks down at Frank. He's like, Frank, you'll be compensated for the extra work. Get it done well. You did a good thing this week. You got your marker closed out. You made us happy. You're getting your friends some extra work and some favors. He says, you go back to your shop and you feel good about yourself. He's like, and take your cold sandwich with you. And Frank kind of like grabs the sandwich, wraps it up, and he kind of starts. He's walking insanely stiffly, and he's holding the sandwich in front of him like he's walking through like shark-infested waters.
As he walks past me, I'm going to swap sandwiches with him.
He's just like, that one's cold.
I do not care.
Like, okay, and he walks off. And Marcus is like, in that case, for us, that is the conclusion of business. And he kind of goes, he looks around, and he kind of looks around, and he holds his hands out like this, and everyone in sight around you stops. And there's one half second. He winks out of existence, and so does the dwarf, and then everyone just starts moving again.
That is a clever trick.
Yes. Huh.
So, do you know where we're going, Val?
To the Astor home, of course.
But you know where that is, right?
As you're saying that, Val, a piece of paper comes floating down.
I grab it, and I open it.
The edge of it is slightly burnt, and you can smell brimstone and sulfur.
Ah.
On one side of the paper, in a beautiful flowing script, is written the location of the Astor estate. On the other side is written the location of the roundabout.
Seems like we have the hardest part of both jobs already done for us. And I show Grandpa the slip of paper.
So, which do we do?
Well, first we go and gather our friends.
Will there be enough time to go to the top of the city and come back?
How much time do we have? What time is
Remember,
it?
it's late afternoon, and he said he'd be there all night. Now, it's going to take you about 45 minutes to get to the Astor Estate because it's very high up on the palm. And then it's going to take you about another 45 minutes to get down to where the roundabout is because it's not in one of the better areas.
Gotcha. Okay. Then yeah, I think we have.
And then however much time it's going to take to spring Milagros and Aeon.
Okay.
I mean,
Marching our way up.
Let us be off.
Also, I'll bring up the heresy of Grandpa throwing away Lorenzo's address.
Everyone's going off about it.
And nobody caught it in the moment. That was beautiful.
Oh, I did. I totally got
I'm
that.
more upset about that than anything else that's happened today.
Chat is very upset.
Like, really? Is that the actual? Because I forgot that you and Sugash traded, and I was like, no, Sugash has it. And I was like, oh no, he doesn't.
He handed it to me, and I didn't even touch it. I just he said it's cold. I don't care about a cold sandwich. Here you go. I didn't even look at the fucking thing.
Damn it!
That's awesome.
We'll find another way to finesse him back into the session. We're gonna bring him back. Bring back my boy.
I mean, as Buckspear said, Lorenzo now has his address and will be very confused. Lorenzo's address.
That's funny.
So, you guys are headed to the Astor Estate. Like I said, it takes about 45 minutes to walk there. There's other ways of getting there faster, but they cost money. So if you're going to blow money on a sky cab, it literally costs a gold to take a sky cab from one destination to another. It is not the transportation of those who are not very well off. But you basically, if you pay a gold and you lease a sky cab for the day.
Interesting. Let me see how much money I have. So I might be able to spring a gold for that. Yeah, I'll spring a gold for a sky cab.
Okay.
Are you still in my head, Val?
Yes, I'm in your head for like an hour.
Do I hear you guys having a conversation with each other?
No, you don't hear the surface thoughts unless he transmits.
Okay, that's right.
No, it's just for conversation between you and I. Or whoever I'm in the mind link with.
Yep.
Which happens to be you for now.
You can only establish mind link with one other person, right?
Yes, at least at this level I think it's only just one.
Yeah.
This is my first time playing the Kalishtar, so I am learning as you all are.
And I do believe it's also a 30-foot range.
Either
30-foot range or line of sight, one or the other.
It's 50 feet.
50 feet? Okay. But then that means you don't need line of sight.
No.
Good. All right. So, you guys, you basically the simple way of summoning a sky cab in this city is you take a gold piece, you say the name of the cab company, and you flip it up in the air as high as you can. If it comes back down, no one in that cab company is available for pickup.
Okay.
And you have to find the name of another cab company and flip it up and say their name.
I would assume that having gone to Bard College in this area, that I would know a couple of them.
Yes. No. Well, I'm just saying that. But you do get a cab company, and Sky Cab comes about 5 minutes later, comes sailing on a Sky. Now the Sky Cabs, they look like they're kind of like a stagecoach, except they're a little bit longer than a stagecoach is, more like a limousine style stagecoach. Sure. They're very gilded. They're very gorgeous. They're heavily decorated. There is a driver on the coach, and there is two guards on the back of the coach, and both of the guards are carrying crossbows, and both of the crossbows have an odd design to them. They have this mechanism underneath them with a bunch of quarrels in it, and it looks like the mechanism feeds up into the arm of the crossbow and into the brace of the crossbow, and the arm has some kind of odd winch mechanism. And
Semi-automatic crossbow. I love it.
yep. So, and it looks like as the guy winches back the crossbow thing, it automatically is loaded.
I dig that.
So, you guys head in. The Skycat comes in. It lands. You guys get aboard, and he says, "Where to?"
And I read him the address of the Astor estate.
He says, "All right." He says, "Hang on to your seats." And the Skycab lifts off kind of gently, but the moment it gets up and turns to face, it just streaks across the top of the city. And, you see other Skycabs coming, and you don't understand how they miss each other. But, like, at the last second, one of the Skycabs will just go up or down in elevation, and they'll go barely over each other. But then they almost immediately return back to the same level. And you have absolutely no idea how they don't collide. So, but you basically make it all the way across to the Astor Estate in about 5 minutes.
Nice.
He circles the Astor Estate and he says, "You want me to land at the gates? You want me to land where?" He's like, "And do you want me to wait here? Do you want me to hold off for a while?" He says, "All you have to do is, he says, take the gold that you flipped earlier." He says, "Flip it back up again and it'll summon us right back. We'll wait around."
Go ahead and wait for us. We shouldn't be too long.
So wait on the street.
That's
Yes,
what you
please.
think.
So he comes down and he lands. He basically lands right across from the gates to the Astor Estate. And you guys pile out.
Yeah.
There's a guard.
It's a peel, not a pile.
Peel. And so you guys get out and you kind of like. There's a guard in front of the doorway to the estate, and there's 2 guards down at the entrance where the carriages come in. Okay? But that's the only people outside, and the guard kind of is like standing there, and you guys land, and he looks you all over, and he says, "Oh, he says, yes, we were told to expect 3 people. Are you Lady Astor's associates?"
If by Lady Astor you're referring to Utopia, yes.
Yes, Lady Astor.
Utopia.
Oh my god, this is gonna be.
We are talking about the same person.
Utopia Astor, yes.
Yes.
so fucking good.
He says, "Very well." He says, and he pulls on the bell, and the door opens, and he says, "They're expecting you. I do believe they're just finishing dinner."
Fantastic.
So you guys walk in, and you remember how I described the residence. There, on the left-hand side, there is what is probably servants' quarters, single-story building. In the middle, at the back, there is the estate. It's a huge 2-story building. It's got 2 separate wings, and there's a central, like, octagonish shaped area with a huge set of doors on the front. The coach gates. There's a paved road that comes up and through, and it goes. There's a coach house on the right hand side of the estate, and there's obviously a stable there. But the drive also goes right up in front of the gates of the house. There is a fountain there as well. There is a walking path that goes from this gate, kind of meanders straight through this well manicured lawn, and then goes right up to the front gates as well. And the guard says, "They're expecting you. You can just walk right in. Someone will meet you at the door."
Fantastic. Thank you.
And as you walk in, you see that you can see all the way across because there's no coach or anything in front of the house. That there is 2 guards at the door, and there is another guard. The estate is walled, but it's like just a single wall. It's like 10 inches thick, and it's about 12 feet high. But at the top of the wall, it's about 15 feet high. At the top of the wall, there is a wooden parapet that's attached to the wall that goes all the way around, and you can see there's 2 guards walking the parapet in basically in the same direction. So they're kind of just going around, and they seem to be walking the entire pace of the wall outside, looking, and they're just looking over the wall. They're looking out over the sea. They're not looking inside the yard at all.
Okay. As we are walking and I'm noticing things, I'm still mentally connected to Grandpa, so I'm relaying everything that I'm seeing back to him, so that he has a layout in his mind of what I'm seeing as well. Being very, very careful and very, very deliberate in doing that mentally.
So you guys start heading over to the house. As I said, you walk up. There's a lovely fountain. The path kind of splits and goes around the fountain and then goes up to the doors. Actually, it goes up to the walkway. But you see that the stone the path is made of is different than the cobbles that are on the walkway and everything like that. And when it goes through the drive that goes in front of the house, the cobbles for the path stay the same and are different from the cobbles for the driveway. And then the cobbles from the path expand out to the landing pad in front of the door. So it's a curved arch. So it's everything about this place is just done with an artistic flair.
Intriguing. Someone clearly has a flair for the arts here.
Someone has cash money, so I don't need to be kidnapped.
You don't know that that's going on.
You're
Stop
fine.
the gaming.
Just a reminder, no need for that.
So, you guys come walking up, and as you come walking up, one of the guards by the front door, he kind of he reaches over and he opens the door and swings it open, and he says, "You will find them in the dining room, through the archway and to the right."
Archway and to the right. Thank you.
And as you walk in, the huge arboretum, the giant glass dome at the top, the beautiful marbled floor, the double curved staircase going up to a landing. There's obviously two wings above, to the right and left of the arboretum, and then there's living quarters behind it, the living area behind it that you walk into as you walk in. It's gigantic. You can tell that there's a kitchen off to the left. You can hear the sounds coming from the kitchen, and to the right, you see the giant dining area I described, and you see that Utopia and Aeom and a third gentleman are all sitting around the table.
I will never get used to...
Well, two are sitting and one standing.
I will never get used to the decor of some of these noble homes. So extravagant.
That's too much.
And I walk in, I see you all at table, and there you are!
You made it!
Wow.
Hey!
The valet turns around and he says, your associates have arrived. He says, are any of you requiring sustenance? We just finished eating, but the chef can definitely whip up something.
I wouldn't mind a sandwich.
We have sandwiches.
Oh, that's right!
Yeah.
Then wine, please.
He says, and he kind of nods. He says, and as you guys say that, the two gentlemen who are standing against the walls step forward. They step forward. They turn, and there's like a little decanter tray to their right, and each one of them grabs wine glasses. One of them grabs two, one of them grabs one. They put them in front of empty places beside Utopia and Aeom, and they each pour red wine into each one of the glasses, and the other pays one glass of red wine on the other side.
I walk over to Val.
Yeah, as they set the
Hi, buddy. What's all this about?
Hang on a second. What'd you say, Sugash?
Oh, I said as they set the decanter back down on the tray, I'm gonna grab that and go sit down.
They don't say a word.
Want a tiny glass?
Brother, are you sure that you want to do that?
Did you see the elf?
I did.
Leave me alone.
One glass.
This is a glass.
It is made of glass.
Is glass.
Sometimes it sucks being the responsible one.
The steward kind of looks you all over, and he says, "We are preparing rooms for you." He says,
Rooms?
Yes, Little Miss informed us that she had more associates that may be coming to join her. And when she did so, we instantly began preparing rooms for her guests.
And don't worry, they already locked the gates.
Yes.
They locked
Lock
the
the
gate.
gates?
Well,
Yes.
you all are free to go. Little Miss, unfortunately, has gathered the ire of her father and is, for lack of a better term, grounded.
I'm not sure I follow. Is
You okay with this utopia?
It's not really about what I'm okay with right
Did you
now.
get struck by a lightning bolt? What is this grounded?
Oh, I
it-
can't leave.
You
But
walk
you-
out the door.
I can't leave. Or
Are you
we'll all
a prisoner?
not exactly. But I can't leave, or we'll all get in a lot of trouble.
oh, Little Miss, you know your friends would have no blame in this.
No. I don't mean my friends. I mean me and the rest of the household.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to share a bit of that blame. Just gonna say, I don't think it should all be lumped on Utopia.
Actually, I don't think any of the blame would be lumped. I don't think any of the blame would be attributed to Little Miss. If we were to allow her to leave, we would be at fault.
Yeah. And I don't want them to be in trouble with my father if he's mad enough to impose this. I don't want to know what's coming afterwards.
I'm very sorry. I'm still failing to understand something. How old are you, Utopia?
I'm 19.
Where I come from, which is, the city. 19 would be considered, by law, an adult. You are an adult. You are what my parents would call a grown-ass woman.
That was beautiful.
Am I wrong in assuming this? Have I made an incorrect assumption? And I'm looking at everyone. Do I not see before me a grown-ass woman?
Now, I have never felt like we've felt the same thing more.
The steward says,
I've been trapped here for a day.
By the way, Aeom is clean
Yeah.
and smells wonderful.
He
And
smells like
the-
fucking flowers. He smells like
This
a
is
flower
the cleanest I've seen you. Are you okay?
I'm well taken care of. I just want to know, when you got sandwiches, did you get to take them yourself? I need to remember what it's like.
They were made for us, and then we took them.
Perfect. Okay.
And I take my sandwich from I think Shugash is still holding my sandwich, I assume.
Yeah.
Take my sandwich from Shugash and I take out a dagger, I cut it in half, and I hand half of it to Aeom.
Oh my
You
god!
are very lucky,
holding the
Aeom, because I
sandwich.
almost threw a sandwich at your face.
I appreciated that.
You have this one.
I go over and I stand beside Grandpa. Thank you, Val. And I'm handing Grandpa the meat as I'm picking out the vegetables from the,
Oh my
from the sandwich.
At least you are clean now.
I'm almost
You like it?
I almost feel pity for him. You cannot be comfortable right now. You don't look comfortable.
I'm not.
This is the least comfortable I've ever seen anyone, actually. I'm not sure what to do to help.
The steward says, so I will have the runes prepared. If you wish anything.
Well, we wish to not stay. We actually all of us have business to attend to just now. That we have to.
I am very sorry that Little Mrs. Friends will have to leave so early. I'm sure she would have enjoyed spending the evening.
No. You misunderstand. Little Miss is coming with us. As we all. When I say we all, I mean we all. All of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have business outside of this house that we have to go in C2.
I completely understand what you're saying. I
This doesn't
just must inform you that Little Miss cannot leave.
Except she can.
No, you're correct. She could stand up and attempt to walk out.
Attempt.
But she would not be allowed to leave.
Let me get this straight.
Yes.
No, I'm gay.
She's like royalty to you, correct?
Yes.
So I am
So
setting
you
the
would
empty
res-
You're what?
I set the empty pitcher of wine down, and there's my con roll, so this should be fun.
I got it. I missed the con roll. I missed
it too.
my
It's a
God.
4.
Oh, God.
Oh boy,
Wait,
we get a belligerent
Wait.
Shugash. I'm here for it.
It will take a little bit to hit.
Oh my God.
Because he has to process some of the alcohol, because he literally,
That's-
downed a pitcher.
So, if she's royalty, you were going to put your hands on her and restrain her?
No, absolutely not.
So then how are you going to restrain her from walking out those doors?
We will just ask her not to go.
So then you can get the fuck up and walk out of here, can you not?
I too. We too look at Utopia at like waiting with bated breath for the answer to that question.
You have already defined the rules once when you decided to journey off with... Well, Grandpa looks at the murals on the wall. Ancient armor, apparently.
well,
And so you can walk out. They can ask you to stop, but technically, as their ruler or royalty, you can say no and walk the fuck out.
Here's to piggybacking off of Grandpa. Utopia.
This is the Socratic seminar.
Utopia. What we're trying to say is, go get your stuff. We're getting out of here. We gotta go. And
Or you spend the rest of your life stuck in this castle.
being who they want you to be and not who you are.
And at that point, Grandpa notices the wine gone and is going to move to Shugash.
So, go ahead. So at this point, the steward looks at you and Utopia, and he says, "Little Miss, they are completely correct. We would never raise a hand to you to stop you from leaving. We would never in any way attempt to harm you. We would never do anything that would even come close to possibly harming you in any way, shape, or form. There is no way we would let that to ever happen." He says, "That is our sworn duty."
And so we're going for a walk.
You know what? I'm gonna go think about this in my room by myself. Nope, nobody come in. I don't need help with anything.
Well, hurry up.
I'll be right back.
And as you go up to your room, I will quietly send Anari with you.
Can Anari go invisible?
You know, I don't know. That's a real good question.
I think that's only like imps and quasits that can do that.
I think so.
I don't think the regular ones can. You have to have an enhanced familiar.
Yeah, Anari is. Yeah, she only has keen hearing, so
Okay.
that's yeah.
So, you guys. Oops, I missed something. Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry for whoever binged.
Just
All
go
right.
trash your dad's office, leave some graffiti. Oh my god, fuck. She wants to.
So you go. So and you, the cat follows. It was a cat, right? I'm sorry.
It's a fox.
Fox. That's right. So the fox follows you up, Utopia. As you go up to your room and you open your door, it slips in, like darts in by you, jumps up on your bed and sits down and curls its tails around its feet and looks at you. Are you looking through its eyes and hearing through its ears, Val?
I am.
It's within 100 feet, so you can. So Utopia, what are you doing?
Taking off my dress and going to put stuff on like protective clothing underneath and put my armor on because I don't know if this is going to be another 2 weeks or if it's going to be one and done within the time that my father gets back. But at this point, I am fully prepared to throw hands if he tries to force consequences onto the rest of the household for choices that I'm making, especially since he decided to get me married without letting me know and like all of this. Like, no, I'm pissed at him and don't understand what he thinks he's doing because he's the one that was like for 19 years, go, you're destined, whatever, and then I went and did the thing because God called and he was like, no, fuck it, you can't make up your mind, I'm going.
All right.
And as that's happening, I relay, oh good, she's getting dressed.
And
I'm gonna go up and grab my scrolls and my mask and everything, and then head back downstairs.
Gotcha. So the steward kind of looks around and he looks at all of you and he says, "Do you need anything?"
Take a sip of the wine that they poured.
It's immaculate.
It's a damn good wine. Best I've ever had, probably. And I put the wine down.
Sugash, you are feeling it.
More.
No,
No.
brother, no more. We don't need a repeat of what happened on the road.
Oh, that's a story I would love to hear sometime.
No.
Are we leaving?
We will be leaving soon, and you can let your frustrations out then.
Oh my
For
God.
now,
The steward,
you need to keep calm.
the steward walks over to on the dining room side of the arch, and you see there's a pull rope, and he pulls the rope 3 times. There's no sound, and after a few moments, the downstairs maid comes walking out, and she has rather a large pouch. Not large; it's about the size of Grandpa's fist. And she goes
I
walking
love
out of
that
it.
that's like the unit of measurement.
It's a
now.
unit of measurement now.
We got Grandpa's fist sandwich. We got Grandpa's fist like pouch.
But she goes walking out and she hands it to the steward and he says should be, and he comes walking up and he says, who will be charged with little Mrs. Safekeeping?
We raise our hand. That will be.
He walks
We
up to
will-
you. This should cover her living expenses for a few weeks.
Told you I had an allowance.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Val,
You're not there.
it's a great
You're not
offer.
there.
You're not there.
No,
Yeah, you're there. I take the bag.
So you take the bag.
I take the bag.
You open it up. You look
Yeah.
inside of it.
I'll take a look.
It is 100 platinum pieces.
Holy shit.
Our eyes go wide. That is a lot up. That yes, I will make sure that this gets to her. Thank you.
He's like, oh no, she has no idea of finances.
No.
I'm asking who is taking care of her, who will provide her
Right.
with servants, who will provide her with service, who will make sure that she eats well, and make sure
We
she
will-
only stays at reputable hotels.
Oh my God.
We will do our utmost to make sure that Utopia is well cared for.
Remember, the Astor name carries clout with it. If there are any nobles near, you may utilize the name of the Astor family to provide safe lodging, as the obligatory hospitality within the noble courts is an advantage that comes with young miss.
That's good to know. That is absolutely good to know. We thank you for this advice.
It says, we cannot stop young miss. And you notice he stopped calling you little miss.
Yeah.
We cannot stop young miss from leaving. We could try something ridiculous, like trying to stop you all from leaving. But young miss has a temper. And young miss sees you as friends and would take that as badly as a personal assault.
It also bears noting that young miss has a will and a mind of her own.
We dedicated our lives to raising young miss to carry on the Astor name. You are taking everything that we spent a lifetime preparing and putting it at risk. But in the end, trying to stop this is just as risky as letting it go. And young miss does need to see the world eventually. When my lord returns, you will be hunted.
That is good to know.
Hunting is fun.
Sugas, shut up, you're
What are we
drunk.
hunting?
Sugas, you're drunk, go home.
We are not hunting yet, brother.
Sugas just...
Well, why are we hunting now? And I'm just gonna stand up, knock over my chair, and go look for Utopia.
Grandpa isn't a follow Shugash.
That's fine.
Oh my god.
Oh, the
Do I
birds.
need to make a roll for that?
To what, knock over your chair?
No, I'm gonna go look for Utopia.
Oh. So you come stumbling out into the main living area, and the first thing you notice is over by the entrances to the kitchen on either side are two fully standing upright stuffed dire bears.
They are not alive.
Oh no.
You do not need to kill them.
Don't square up with the taxidermy, please.
Let us find her and get out of here.
Poke it a few times.
It's not moving.
Continue my search.
One of the kitchen staff like opens the door and like, what's going on out? Oh.
Just no.
No. Oh my
All right.
God.
So can I figure out where her room is?
Actually, by this time she's probably coming down because all you really did was grab your gear and put on your armor, right?
Yeah.
It takes her 10 minutes to put on her armor without help. So, And actually, as you're putting on your armor, the upstairs maid comes into the room and just doesn't say anything, just walks over and starts helping secure the straps.
Aww.
As I see her, I'm just gonna walk over. Come, it's time for hunting. I'm gonna throw her over my shoulder and walk out. We are leaving.
I know, but she has legs.
We went through this whole thing about personal will, Shugash. It was
Yeah,
really,
we just
really
got
involved.
finished about
Nari is
towards
following,
the
and I
direction
see
of
everything. And,
helping.
but this wasn't what we had in mind. Utopia, do you have everything you need?
I will let it be known that I am like putting like an arm around Sugash's neck because my fucking bestie is finally initiating some kind of
You
physical
slumped
contact.
over my shoulder like a potato sack. That's
Yeah,
not
like
really
I'm-
bestie
no, like
status.
no, I don't care. I don't care. It's the first physical
Hugging
contact
his
you've
waist from
initiated.
behind.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to like get like a hand or something like around
Like
him to be
a hand,
yes.
a hand literally reaches back over your other shoulder and is like all petting you in the face as you're walking.
I don't even think I would notice.
I look at the servants. It's endearing, I swear.
Yes, they're besties.
Yes.
Yeah, I ignore all of that and just keep walking out the door.
All right.
It's a weird world we live in.
So you guys go walking out. You walking out the same gate you came in because the coach is still sitting out there.
Yes, we are.
I was actually just going to walk out the door and flip the coin in the air, like in their courtyard.
Oh, in the courtyard?
Yeah, like right in front of the front door, because they should land in front of us, I assume. You said they could
Yeah.
come in. So, yeah,
So he flips the coin in the air. You see the coach come up and over the wall. The guards kind of like holler out to the coach driver, and the coach driver comes and lands from the door. The two guards beside you kind of look at you guys, and they look at the coach, and they look at Utopia over Sugas's shoulder, and they're like,
I told you we were gonna fucking kidnap her.
no.
Are you saying this out loud? Are you saying this out loud in front
We're
of the guy?
going hunting. I'm gonna like toss her into the cab and climb in, stumble my ass in.
I turn to the we turn to the guards as we walk out behind everyone. It was very nice meeting you.
the steward's walking out with you, and he looks at the guards. He's like, they're just.
Hey.
There's not even a way to describe
Hey,
that scene, Ray.
if worse comes to worse, they could always just claim that Utopia was kidnapped by giant fucking orcs, and there was nothing they could do. They
All
could
right.
always just be like, nah, two fucking giant ass bitches came and took her. There was nothing we could do. We did our best.
We did our best.
We tried.
Like we tried.
I look at everybody in the coach.
Uh-huh.
Don't ever let this not be normal.
I pat Aom on the back. We'll do our best.
Thanks.
We did our best equals we hid in the kitchen.
Yeah, they're like, we fought tooth and nail.
Are we still linked, Val? Has
Yes.
enough time passed?
I would assume that enough time passed, or we're either at the very edge of the link or the link is broken. What say you, DM?
Let's say that enough time has probably passed. The link is probably down.
Okay,
Okay.
then never mind.
So
I will try to talk to Val in my head, and nothing happens.
Just
Like I don't get a
silence.
response, and I'm just looking at him like
and
just
all
got
this
left-
waiting
Red.
for an answer.
And we're like, what? What? Oh, no, that's ended.
Yeah, Val just left him on red.
Oh,
and Grandpa,
What were you-
you
what-
are overtaken with a complete sense of loneliness.
not at all. So peace through Grandpa at this point.
Peace descends until Aom sits beside Grandpa and puts his hand on him. I miss you, buddy.
Get a look that says "Get the fuck away
Get
from me."
Out of character, I am drunk and cannot help you, and we are going to be in a coach that flies. That is probably a bad idea.
It's like, yeah, and I just like, yeah, that, what he said. That whole,
Aom's just so happy. to do that.
I put a hand on Aom's shoulder. I know, buddy.
The coach driver kind of looks back into the coach at you guys. He says, like, because there's a little window between between him and you. He looks at his shoulder through the window. He says, "Where to?"
And I read him the other address.
Eesh. All right. You
It
sure
can't be
you
worse than
want?
this place.
You sure you want to go into that neighborhood?
And we're going hunting.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
It's like,
As my friend just pointed out, we're going to hunting.
he's like, oh well, the cab doesn't go in hunting trips. We'll drop
we
you
are
A
off.
block away.
We'll drop you off, and then we will hover around the city and wait for you
That's
to call
fantastic.
us. It's like,
Absolutely fantastic. And as
Okay,
we head there, I fill in Utopia as to what we got into.
Oh, also just tiny detail. So I'm assuming that like when the cab takes off, it's like this gigantic jolt, and everybody just like kind of rattles around. But Val and I are used to this, and so we're like those people on the subway that don't hold the bar, nothing. They just stand there,
Just stand there, yeah.
just don't fucking move.
so actually, So the cab takes off, leads off the ground. Once again, it cruises up to a certain altitude, and then just streaks across the city. And it takes, because of the distance it's traveling this time, it takes about 20 minutes to get to your destination. Okay. It circles around, and from above, you can see the entire area. If you zoom out, you can see the entire area around this roundabout. And so it is got, let me change over to the map.
I was about to say there's a map.
There's a map.
Map.
So there is a circle of buildings inside a circle of buildings. There is an entrance from the west, there is an entrance from the north, and there is an entrance from the east. I just threw you on the map. Which entrance do you want to come in from? The roundabout only has one opening, and it is on the northeastern portion of the roundabout.
Then I'd say we should probably start from there, I think.
Well, coming from the east.
Yeah.
That would be the easiest way.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do the east.
The east? You got it. So you can go drag yourselves over to the east.
Are we supposed to be
Are we able to drag
the
ourselves?
square?
Well, yeah, vision kind of blocks us from being able to drag ourselves.
Oh, okay, hang on a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me turn on the daylight.
Well, it's line of sight through the buildings because they're walls.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you move us, then we'll still have line of sight in the alleys.
All right. It's not that. Oh, okay. I just turned that off. Okay, one second. Bonk. Oops.
Whee.
You must be lagging kind of, right?
Bonk. Bonk. I got you, AM.
Sorry.
Yeah, the entire time we're heading there, I'm filling Aeom and Utopia in on basically our shenanigans leading up to coming after them.
When
And,
he gets to the point where we are gonna go save a dragon, I nudge him to keep his mouth shut.
Oh. It's like we totally.
But what
Fine.
happened with the
I
dragon?
mean, yeah,
Because you
they
did
would
tell
know.
me.
I told them we were getting a dragon.
Well, no, I'm referring to the cab driver that doesn't need to know that me and you were involved in breaking out a fucking dragon.
Fair.
So,
I'm honestly drunkenly munching on my sandwich.
so what?
I am paying
so
no
what-
attention to conversations with Taco Bell munching on my sandwich.
So what Val can say instead is that he hosted a great impromptu concert. You know. He was
Yeah.
That's
killing
all
it.
he knows, and then
That's
a
all-
dragon burst out of nowhere.
He was
Yeah, that's
killing it.
basically all. Yeah, exactly. That's basically all I know. I don't know what
He
they
was
did.
just jamming, letting the
Yeah,
bodies
we
hit
were
the floor. you know?
jamming. There was a mosh pit. It was fantastic. And then there was a big rumble, and it sounded like an explosion. And then a dragon just came out of nowhere and swam off. It was weird, man.
Wow. I wish I could have been there.
It was awesome.
No.
My playing was in fact awesome. I wish you could have been there too. I was quite inspired. And also the dragon was cool.
Excellent. So, what are you guys? How are you guys gonna approach this?
I am not stealthy, so
So
I will take someone's stealthier lead.
he told us roughly where it was in this cul-de-sac, like where we'd find him, right?
Yes, he said he's in the roundabout. That's where he's holed up right now.
So he's in that middle set of houses.
Yes.
Gotcha. How tall are the houses around us?
All of
Single
them.
story?
No, they're all 2 stories. They're all 2 stories, and the one directly in front of you is actually 3 stories tall.
Okay.
How high could you throw me, Grandpa?
Um,
I know you've always wanted to try.
Probably high enough, but I don't think that you would be able to get the information needed
Oh my god.
from up there.
All right.
Him, on the other hand, I'm looking at Val, seems to be able to infiltrate people's brains.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
So, do you want to talk to him? Or do you just want to infiltrate his brain?
Let's try the talking part first. And if that doesn't work, then the infiltration will have to suffice. And if that doesn't work, well, I have a couple of other methods we could employ.
Ooh.
So, hunting. In a direction. I don't know where I'm going.
He turns and walks into a wall real quick, and then he's like, "Oh shit!"
And I turn to Grandpa. You might want to help your brother.
You don't have to tell me what I already know, Val.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right.
Kind of got
So-
like a hand on the shield on the back, on Shugon's back. Like, not actually grabbing a hold of him, but like kind of keeping him within reach.
Just hovering.
Let's be fair, we have all drunk or guided somebody. We know exactly what you're doing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
No,
So-
not the wall.
Not the wall.
This way.
No, that's a barrel. Yes, leave it alone. No. All right, so this is a really good place to stop. So, and it's coming up on 10 o'clock my time, and I have a 7 a.m. tomorrow, so, yeah, well, it's
G motherfucking G! That was a hell of an episode.
Yeah, it was.
It was a hell of a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen.
3 hours of role playing. Good job, guys.
Yeah,
That
right.
was awesome.
So, everyone remember, if you guys want to find Obliviously Adventurous, they are on Facebook. Frank streams most days of the week, and he also they stream Sunday. What time do you guys start on Sundays?
7:30 Pacific.
7:30 Pacific?
7:30.
Yeah,
At least that's the goal time.
gotcha.
Technical difficulties and so forth, which abound with us because they are not technical difficulties; they are features,
Dun, dun,
and they are
dun.
brought to you weekly.
No, let's be fair. Most of the time it's because people are smoking bowls and having conversations that I can't put on air. Which is why we are late.
You're
And I
not
sit
wrong
here
there.
going, dude, we're going live. Like, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, you're not.
All right,
you're not
fuck it,
wrong
we're
there.
live. And they're all like, ooh. Hi. That is our normal before session, is me going, dude, stop. Just, we'll get banned for this. Stop it, please.
So, that's Obliviously Adventurous, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen.
We're fun.
Yeah.
And they stream on Sunday nights. Go give them a try. Watch poor Panda cry. It's glorious, but you know, it's sad sometimes.
Glorious.
He's gonna kill us all.
He is going to kill you all eventually.
I'm looking forward to it.
And then
Looking forward to make him earn that title.
and then we also have Rob, who has established himself on social media. Hell hath frozen over. Rob
What
has a
is your
social media account.
OnlyFans?
We're all
Rob?
going ice skating.
What is your OnlyFans?
Yeah, what is your OnlyFans?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have
Rob,
to-
Yeah, but it would be Blessed Come.
I mean,
It's like
I would pay for that.
Ah, fuck. Time to bless the fuck out of you.
Oh no.
Alright.
Oh, those
Just full of
fantasies.
goat cosplay.
Fuck, done.
right.
There's a niche for that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There certainly is, sir.
And then so if you can't go check out Rob, he's going to eventually start putting out content. He swears. And then, of course, as Nightbot just put out, we have Sphinx. Sphinx is going to be launching his own show. What time are you going to be doing it on Fridays? Do you know yet?
It's every other Fridays, starting at 8:30
Yeah,
Pacific
8:30?
Standard Time.
Pacific Standard Time. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So that's
And Sphinx is
Is
fantastic.
that in the
TikTok.
morning?
That's PM. Sorry,
PM.
8:30 p.m. Pacific
Oh, so
Standard
it's a
Time.
late stream.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Copy that.
And
that'll
then
be Twitch, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Copy.
And you
links
did,
in my link tree.
and which is up in chat. And then, of course, we have the amazing Milagros. Milagros, do you have any idea when you're going to start streaming?
My plan right now is next week because I'm getting my branding and stuff taken care of like this week and this weekend. So I'm probably going to be streaming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays because that's when I'm not working. And retail sucks the soul out of me, so I don't really have energy left for literally anything else.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm going to have a couple of different things going on. I'm going to have ride-alongs if people want to join and like see my process and like have somebody to write with. And I'm also going to be sharing the process of creating my database and finishing all my templates and starting to create all of the information and stuff for my world. So that's what I'm so excited for.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see it too. Foxrider wants to know what times. Do you have decided on times yet?
Not yet, but I will post them in the Discord when I have them sorted.
And don't forget to update your link tree. Well, your link tree will have your links, so it doesn't need the times, but they'll be in there. But yes, post them in the Discord so everyone can know.
I'm also planning on like putting together a website at this point because I also want to share the writing that I'm going to be doing for this campaign.
Absolutely.
So at this point, I'm like, fuck it, I should just put together a whole website.
Because why not? You don't have enough on your plate already.
Yeah, no, totally.
And of course, if you want to follow anything that Dinner in a Game does, from the chaos here to our dinner conversation show, to the lab experiments in gaming, which occupies which is going to be on this Friday night, where we're going to be continuing our live play of Fall of Magic. Fall of Magic with the creator of Fall of Magic, Ross Cowman. It has been an amazing story so far. It's going to get only better because we're really getting close to the end.
We are.
Maybe the next 3 sessions.
I would say, probably 3, because there's just like, we do about 3 segments per session, so there's probably about 3 left.
Yeah, so, but it's been an amazing story so far. It's been great. And so you guys come check it out on Friday. And other than that, if you want to support us in any way, shape, or form, always remember, we would love for you to subscribe to us. No one has to. We do this because we love the hobby and we love producing content for you guys. But any dime we get, they keep making Foxrider cry. that would be the lab experiments of gaming, not us. But yeah, so
we haven't gotten there yet.
Not yet. Any dime you give towards supporting us goes to help paying for all the costs that are involved with, hosting the sites, paying for all this equipment, everything like that. So if you guys want to support us, we would greatly appreciate it. If you have Amazon Prime, you have a free subscription, and we would love it if you gave it to us. We also have our Patreon. We have, which has lots of different rewards, including Discord rewards. We have dice trays. I don't have one around me. I always have one around me.
Come on, Jim.
No,
my
I'm
God.
horrible.
I
don't even have dice around me right now. Dude, it's
The downfall of tabletop.
Oh wait, never mind. My dice are here. Here they are.
I've got like 40 in a bag. For
Okay,
you.
I only have 2 sets, but like I'm new. It's okay.
Massive, like.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah,
like
this
five.
is one big.
I've got 5, and I've got like, yeah.
I'm trying to find. Oh, here they are. Here's the beast. Okay,
Wow.
this is solid steel.
Oh, damn.
It's probably a 1 pound.
This, you know how I always say that the biggest thing I always roleplay with is there's always consequences? This is consequences.
Yes.
It goes in a sock. And here's one of my other favorite dice. This is another metal dice, but we got this for participating in Extra Life. And it has the little.
That's really cool.
It has the Extra Life logo on there for
Nice.
the 20. It's really cool. I love it very much. But anyway, and we're going to try and participate in Extra Life this year as well. And I'm really happy to know that Milagros and Sphinx are going to be creating shows because we want to do a 24-hour telethon. And we're going to try and do it this year. And we're going to try and make that happen, but we're going to need a lot of people's help.
Wait, can I be there? Because I want to do that.
Yeah, it's literally like the second Saturday in November, I think, is when it happens.
Oh my god, wait, yo,
That sounds
that's
like fun.
NaNoWriMo! Dude, I am gonna be...
Oh, that's right, NaNoWriMo. Oh
fucking
God.
love NaNoWriMo!
What's that?
I'm not.
National
NaNoWriMo...
November.
No, give me this.
Go for it. Go for it.
Is the reason I went to my school. It is National Novel Writing Month, and it is an international challenge that, like, I think at this point tens of thousands of writers participate in
Yeah,
every single year.
every year.
Where you attempt to write at least 50,000 words in the 30 days of November. That is 1,667 words a day, period, Foxwriter.
Damn.
And I have been same. My most productive month I did 150K in the month. And I have won 6 years in a row, and I want to get a 10-year streak going. So I will be participating again for the 7th time. I also want to win every single year of college because I don't know anyone else who's been able to do that, and this is my senior year. So I'm trying
legit.
to
Let's go.
That's epic. That's
clinch
epic.
the win. Get it
Dun
done.
dun dun.
I'm glad now to have a nano friend. That's fantastic.
Oh my god.
Well, now we know something else significant that will be happening in November. And Foxwriter, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was National Novel Writing Month. I've never written a novel.
Gonna take off because I'm not feeling very well.
Okay,
so it was
Frank.
a pleasure playing with you guys as always. Amazing show tonight. Thank you guys on Twitch.
And feel
Hell
better,
yeah.
Frank.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
Frank.
feel better.
Love you guys. See you
Love you
next
too.
week.
Love you too,
Love
Nano.
you.
See ya.
And so we are going to head off into the sunset. So just remember, we're here. And the Thursday show that was going to be playing Cities of Mist, it's still happening. We're just going to postpone it by a week because unfortunately one of our players who had to back out at the last minute, they just couldn't make the commitment they really wanted to. They were trying to make it work, but their schedule just didn't work out. So we are looking for one more for Cities of Mist on Thursdays.
To do that. I have a lot of commitments.
I know.
Same.
I know, that's the biggest issue. We try and make it through, but everyone's got a lot of work to do. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for participating in this with us. We really love you guys. Thank you to my amazing cast. You guys were terrific tonight. You fucking killed it. And we are
Thank
going.
you for the world, man.
No problem.
Yeah, dude.
No problem.
Absolutely.
And we are going to be back in 1 week with the next episode where we find out exactly what happens when you corner someone and give them no way out. So, in the meantime, let me find someone to raid. It's raid time. Ooh.
I love how I thought Valentine was going to be very neutral good, and he's leading very much in the chaotic good section.
Oh, he is, and I love it.
Grandpa legitimately
It was a pretty good.
he's not a
pretty
bad dude, but at the end of the day, he's about getting shit done, and if he sees opportunities around, unfortunately, it's like the Ushnats that's been rubbed off by Rome is kind of Grumpock. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
at the moment, he feels like the older brother, like holding a bull underneath his younger brother and trying not to let him go into insanity mode. That's
Yeah.
never a good thing.
So I found out who we're going to raid.
All right.
We're going to raid the Lark Network. Our friend and member of our Discord, as well as her amazing Discord, Ivy, who was going to try and play in the City of Mist game, but that girl plays in so many games, and it's insane. But anyway, Ivy's on Lark Network tonight, so be sure you go on there, tell them the Dinner and a Game sent you over, and say hi to Ivy and tell her that Dinner and a Game sends their love. And we will go and hit them up right now, guys. Thank you everyone again for coming over. We love you guys. We appreciate you, and we will see you again for Kingdoms of Mist in 1 week. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
I need to stuff my fucking face. So
Same.
y'all have a beautiful evening, and I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. I'm out too.
Yeah.
See you later, everyone. That
Yeah, I
was
gotta
awesome.
go start building
That
a
was
website that I
fantastic.
decided to do like 3 minutes ago. So
Decided
to give myself another fucking project.
Body
Oh,
at that
geez.
time
That's
was
awesome.
dead and
All
made
right.
the conscious
See ya.
decision